SoCon play coming off 2 wins this past week. Some great second half comebacks, defeating Furman here on Wednesday, and then at the Citadel at Charleston on Saturday. This week, both games at home. Chattanooga Thursday at 7 p.m. and then Sanford Saturday afternoon at 2. Coach, tell us the good news.
A lot of good news, Rick. Appreciate it, man. Good to see you guys again. I know it's been a little bit, so obviously got back on that winning track this past week. Had a tough road trip at Sanford and Chat, and then came back, had an emotional win over a really good Furman team who I think has got a chance to really advance in March, and then talk about that one here in a second. But then to go on the road and play at Citadel, where they hadn't lost there in a month, so I don't think sometimes people understand how hard it is to win on the road, especially a team that legitimately had not lost a conference game in their last 4 outings at home. So proud of our guys, obviously, going back to Wednesday. Emotional game. Both teams I thought competed at a really high level, defensive battle. Thought we just made a lot of winning plays down the stretch. We won the game in the margins, meaning we out-rebounded them, had scored more points in the paint, did a great job in transition defense, and ultimately just made some big plays late. And credit to our guys for coming back after a tough weekend and finding a way to win a really pivotal game. I think those are the type of games that can spur your team through the finish line. And then you look at Saturday, really a tale of two halves. Go play at Citadel. First half, I think it was 24-12 with 3 minutes to go in the first half, and just couldn't get it going offensively. We're struggling, but found a way to stay in it with our defense. And then second half, man, it was a different story. We go, score 52 points, something like that. 9 of 11 from 3 and 19 of 25 from the field. So found a way to kind of extend that one and did a little shorthanded. Had some bangs and bruises. Hopefully we get all these guys back Thursday. But again, just proud of our effort. I think when you separate the facts from the feelings and you say, hey, with 2 weeks to go, you're in second place, you got a chance to win a regular season championship. I think 99% of college teams are going to sign up for that. And so tribute to our guys, man, taking one on the chin last week, coming back, being focused and controlling the things that they can control. So fired up to coach this group, man, excited for another big week, and kind of open it up to you guys for questions. Yeah, I think we're definitely finding our groove. Like I said, you go on the road and take a tough one. I think you got to learn from that, and you got to take the positives from it. The positives are we've been guarding our butts off the last 2, 3, 4 weeks of the season, and I think for so long we were outscoring teams, and that was great. It's fun basketball, but to go win the games we want to win, we've got to do it on that defensive side. And so even though Sanford we took a tough L, I think we learned something about our team defensively. Kind of continue that this week. And yeah, I feel like we're as confident as we've been all season. We've got some guys that are really stepping up, playing great minutes for us.
Yeah, you already mentioned that. How psyched are you that, we talked all season about shooting, how well the team has been shooting, that you go out and score however many points in a half, and you still get the win in a tough road environment because they stay locked in. What was the message at halftime? How excited are you that you're getting kind of showing on the other side of the ball?
Yeah, I think it's really a tribute to these guys. Hey, man, what did you guys say at halftime? We didn't really have to say anything. The truth is this is a group that believes. They know they were getting stops. The offense is going to come. But the fact that we've been there before, we're down to Furman at half. We come back and win. These are the games that you can talk about, but you actually have to go do it. In today's landscape, a lot of these guys are going to be here for a year, and they get 9 months to figure it out. And there's only so many adverse situations you can put them in. Practice is practice, but when you get in that game and you feel the heat of it and you've been here before with these certain guys, there's no panic at halftime. It didn't play well, and these guys know we're going to come out and play a little bit better in the second half, and obviously made the adjustment and found a way to win.
What are you looking for the rest of this conference slate? Is there any one thing that sticks out to you about the rest of the matchups you guys have?
Hey, we got to go one game at a time. Obviously, we're playing a Chat team that beat us at their spot. And, I know, record-wise, they hadn't been where they probably expect to be. But, Dan Earl's a great coach. Chattanooga's been really good in this league for a long time. They got us at their spot. I know our guys woke up hungry. We had a great practice today. Got to continue to focus on us. And, yeah, we'll game plan for them, and we'll game plan for the other 4 games. But at the end of the day, we're pretty dang good when we're locked in on what we're doing.
You talked about how it was tough to go into the Citadel and play in that environment, especially a team that's not used to losing on their home court. You guys flipped the switch, and it's the same thing here at Mercer. What is it about? Obviously, you can't overlook anyone left on the schedule, but do you ever feel a little bit more confidence knowing that you guys are going to be playing at Hawkins Arena and found a lot of success there?
Yeah, I mean, I think our guys, I mean, shoot, we're 12-0 here. These guys spend a lot of time in that building that people don't see. You know, they're comfortable in that environment. You know, it's where we practice every day. It's where they get up their extra work. You know, there's a supreme confidence that we step in this building, we're going to win. And, you know, we said it before the year, we want to be undefeated in Hawkins Arena. I don't think it's ever been done. You know, we got 3 really good opponents coming up. Starts with Chattanooga. But it really starts with our preparation. You know, we can't just stay stagnant from Saturday and hope to figure it out Thursday. We got to get better from Saturday, Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and ultimately put together a really nice game plan for Thursday.
What about this team is something that you guys still kind of need to focus on? We'll talk about a tale of two halves with you guys, but what part of the game do you need to improve on to kind of get the wins in the final stretch?
Well, I think it's just growth experiences. You know, we're learning something about our team, how guys are guarding us differently. You know, certain teams are trying to slow us down. Certain teams are trying to pack the paint. Certain teams are trying to match our when we go with our big lineup. So it's just these shared experiences and then learning and growing from them. And I think we're at the point this year right now where we feel very confident no matter what game plan someone throws. You know, shorten our rotation a little bit. We're playing guys some extended minutes, and you can see the gelling. I mean, there's times where you know, we got, you know, 5, 6, 7 guys out there that are really locked in, connected, and it could be a different variance of guys, but for us, it's just about growing in confidence and knowing that, hey, everyone's thrown out about as much as they can do up until this point of the season. Can we just continue to get better and lock into the things that we can control?
You talked about at the beginning of this how you guys are in a position to possibly clinch the regular season title. I feel like that's a bit of a different conversation than this time last year. What does that kind of feel like for you, the fact that you can even say that you guys are in this position to do that?
Yeah, obviously we got some things got to go our way, right? You know, it's not completely in our hands, but what is in our hands is the collection of young people that we have in this program. And you know, I think last year, I know I told Jim, we went to ETSU, we lost at the buzzer, but found that, hey, now I know how to build this program. Now we know what it takes to win the Southern Conference. And you know, credit to, you know, a guy like this right here, Connor Servant. We went out, we recruited high IQ, tough dudes that are winners. And so for us, you know, it's a lot different than last year. You know, I give a lot of respect to those guys that came here in our first year. But ultimately, we weren't prepared for the Southern Conference. We weren't prepared to win at Mercer. You know, every school has its niche, and I think we found the niche here that fits us. We're gritty, we're tough. We compete our tails off. You know, I think we're a team that likes to win in the margins, but we play with supreme confidence on that offensive end, and we play with great edge on the defensive end.
You talked about at the beginning of the season how throughout the offseason you guys developed this really gritty, tough defensive team. How is that kind of evolving now to this point? Now it's like that's kind of the way you guys play now.
Well, I think we all, and Connor will probably agree, we thought we were going to be a really, really good defensive team all throughout the year. Then something happened where we just made shots every single night for about a month straight. And I think we kind of took our foot off the gas on that side a little bit. But I think when you can see it coming in March, you're starting to see a team that really relies on that defensive identity. We've got great active bodies that can physically match a lot of guys. We can bully people inside the paint. So I think you're seeing our true colors come out here, and it's a perfect time now because we've shown the ability to make shots at a high clip. We've shown the ability to score. But now we're starting to win games with our defensive energy.
All right, Coach, brought Connor with you today. Go ahead and introduce him to our folks and what he brings to our program.
Yeah, obviously, man, Connor, really, I'm not going to say surprise, but I'm going to say major impact that we had hoped when we recruited him. But obviously, unique backgrounds, been at the high major level for a couple years, spent some time at Eastern Michigan. Knew we had a tough kid, knew we had a high IQ. But didn't know the versatility that he brought on both sides of the floor. So as you can see, these last 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 games, Connor's been a staple for us. In my opinion, one of the most versatile defenders in the league, but also really started to find his offensive groove for us. And just a guy that we love having in our program, man. He fits us, and I think we fit him. So no further ado, Connor Servant.
All right, come on, if you would, give an opening statement about coming to Mercer, what it means to you, how the season's gone, how you look forward to the last 2 weeks of the regular season.
Yeah, coming to Mercer, don't really have much on my decision aside from coach. Like you said, a lot of coaches in the portal are just BSing with you, telling you what you want to hear. When I got here, coach was just like, man, I don't really know what I'm going to get. I hope I get this player. I might get this player, but we believe in you because you're a winner, and that's kind of what sold me. And looking ahead, I think we're finally clicking. Like you guys said, originally we thought we were going to be a big defensive team, and that's not what it was for the first 2 months. And then we were kind of forced to do it these past couple games and just getting back to that. And then I think when we finally click on both ends of the floor, we're going to be a real powerhouse going into the tournament.
You know, I don't know whether you, like Coach said, first of all, you contribute on both sides. Do you have more fun now that the defensive identity is coming out? Which side of the ball do you like more?
Yeah, I definitely have a little bit more energy on the defensive side of the floor. Like, I've always been kind of like a complimentary player. Never really had too much confidence on the offensive end. They've kind of instilled that in me this year. But when the defensive is clicking, it's so much fun. Everybody's in gaps. Everybody's staying true to their concepts. And when you're turning the ball over as much as we have, it's just like, how are they going to score enough to beat us? You know?
Yeah. You know, you've had a really interesting career thus far. How does this locker room compare to some of the other rooms you've been in terms of meshing and in terms of the skill there?
Yeah, I mean, everything's like you said. Like, you never know how long players are going to stay at each school, so everything kind of feels forced when you get onto a new team. You never really know if you're going to click or bind with everybody else. But I think it was so quick and natural. Like, even in the summer, like, I think everybody had relationships with everybody, and that's probably the biggest thing. And then as we just kept building and going through the off season, like, by the time we got to that game 1 at Tennessee, everybody was friends with everybody, and everybody kind of knew everybody's game, and it's beautiful. This locker room's great. Probably the best I've ever been a part of.
What's your favorite moment so far, whether it's you or another guy you're close with this season?
Favorite moment? That's kind of tough. There's been a lot of really fun moments. Yeah, it's tough to say. I mean, honestly, probably these last 2 games have just been really fun for me because, like you said, I mean, we haven't been able to throw it in the ocean offensively, and then we're just out there getting stops and grinding through the games. Like, that's really fun for me, just really grinding out a game, even though we might be better matched with certain teams, like just figuring out our own way to play and really getting in a groove right here going into March.
How many guys on the team do you think kind of agree with you on that?
All of them.
Grinding it out, yeah?
All of them, yeah. No, we come into practice every day with a little bit of grit. Like, it's tough, man. It's tough to go through a full season. Like, this is my 6th year. Like, you're practicing 5 days a week for 2 games, and it gets tiring after a while. But, I mean, we came in today. It's Monday. We got 3 games before a game, and we're in there grinding it out. So that's what you want to see.
For fans and for Coach, when you guys have those 2 different half performances, it can be a little bit of like a mental battle. What is that like for you?
I just try to stay as level-headed as possible. I mean, I'm not the guy that's going into the huddle and like saying we got to get it together, giving a big speech or anything. But like, we've got those guys on the team. That doesn't need to be me. So for me, I just try to stay level-headed. Like, terrible first half at Citadel, obviously, and then we go into the locker room. Everybody's already on the same page. Nobody really had to say anything. So I just try to stay true to my game, do what I need to do, and I know my teammates got my back on that too.
What is it like, I guess, when you guys get back on the floor and it just seems like everything is clicking again?
I mean, I'm a big percentage guy, and the way we've shot it the past 3 games, I mean, I knew eventually we were going to start pouring it in. So I see a first couple threes going in that second half. I'm like, all right, finally we can get back to scoring a little bit.
Connor, you got hurt 2 minutes into the season in the game at Tennessee. You had to sit out a few games at the beginning of the season. It had to be frustrating for you. Can you just talk about what that was like for you to sit out, the first few weeks of the season? And then did it take some time for you to kind of mesh with the guys and get back in the groove of things once you got back in the games?
Yeah, definitely. I think that going into that first game, like, we had our set of like not who was going to play as much minutes, but who was going to do what. And then obviously I get hurt, go out, got to figure out a different way to play because I'm not in there. I was going to be playing a majority of the minutes. So they find that new rotation, and they were clicking like as soon as I got out. So I kind of thought that when I got back onto the court, it was just going to be easy and free, but they were playing like a completely different style than what we were playing originally. And so I kind of had to adjust to that along with them adjusting back to me. And it wasn't instant, but it didn't take as long as it probably should have, just because everybody's so glued together.
You talk about a different style. How do you think this group has kind of grown from the offseason to this point now?
I think there was a lot of uncertainties. Like, we had a couple guys that just weren't a part of the practices during the summer due to injury or something else. So those fall months of just finding out what guys do good and who plays well together and really just meshing together on what everybody else does around you instead of just yourself, kind of like the keys to that.
And then obviously you guys are undefeated at Hawkins Arena. The way you guys perform at home, is that something you expected from this group early in the season? Did you think that you guys would be here right now?
Like, no, to be honest. Like you said, I've been at some bigger schools and like where you like have packed stadiums, 16,000 plus, like a real big home court advantage. But like here, I mean, it's just like you said, we just spend so much time in the gym that we're getting shots up every day. We got 10 guys in the gym 7 days a week. And I mean, it makes sense now that I look back on it, but I mean, 13-0 at home, it's tough. That's tough to do.
All right, anything else for Connor? Okay, these guys take a lot of pride in playing at Hawkins Arena. They'll be in it twice this week. Thursday, Chattanooga at 7, and then Sanford Saturday afternoon at 2. Thanks for your coverage. Appreciate you. See you again next time.